whole life, I always knew I was special. Even with no remainders, I could always move a decimal. Money on my mind while the girls that made un beso. Hustlers in my blood and it's running through my vessels. Just trying to clear the threshold, just trying to make a way. In my race against time, I could see an early grave. School to prison pipeline, 12 years a slave. Suspension and detention is conditioned for a cage.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Errol Spence says that a fight with TC is possible. Let's take a listen to what he had to say. This was at the press conference for his upcoming bout with Yordenis Ugas. So let's take a listen.
You mentioned the WBA, you have the WBC IBF belt. There's one more belt that's out there, obviously Terence Crawford. I know he's gone on record and said that he's spoken with you, had some sort of conversations with you about potentially making a fight in the future. What do you honestly feel that it would take for you guys to, potentially make that fight happen? I think that's the fight that all the fight fans are wanting. Everybody's asking for. Everybody's clamoring for it, and it needs to happen.
It definitely needs to happen. I mean, we'll see after this fight. To my part, it's something that I'm not gonna talk about to the public and stuff like that. Things that I need this, you need to do this, you need to do that. Me, boxers have, we got egos too. Somebody telling me I need to do something, I need to do this, or he telling me I need to do this, I need to do that. That just plays into it. So the fight not happening, that plays into it. So I just feel like just need to happen behind closed doors, and something that our teams talk about, and hopefully the fight can get made. So I definitely think it's very promising, especially me snatching this other belt from you guys. So we'll see.
All right, so that's what Errol Spence had to say about a potential fight between him and Terence Crawford. And so I'm going to turn over to you, Conspiracy G. What was your reaction to what he had to say?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I couldn't even hear what he was saying, bro. Like, the sound was horrible on my end. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty bad sound. But basically what he said was that he wants that fight. He said that he's not going to negotiate through the media with the fight. He wants them to do it behind closed doors because they're fighters with egos. So basically you start telling someone they need to do this and they need to do that, it hurts the fight potentially. So he said he wants to negotiate behind closed doors. It's something that he wants. And he said that, with him snatching the title from Ugas, he thinks that it's a strong possibility in that he's open to negotiating with Terence Crawford. So that's what he said.
All right, well, I actually agree with that. Yeah, these fighters definitely got egos, rightfully so. You have to have an ego to even think you're the best in the world. So, so negotiating via social media it never really works out like that. So if both gentlemen could actually agree to actually sit down and get the lawyers involved to draft up a contract where they could both sign, I think that's great, and I think Spence is, taking the more mature route, man. Like, hey, let me get through Ugas, then we'll holler at TC to make that fight a reality. So I agree with him 1,000%, man. And, I kind of feel like, and I know both gentlemen feel like they don't need to fight one another for their legacy, but the fans know y'all two need to get in that ring and settle this. So I think it'll be a great fight, man. And hopefully, I think what it really is TC, we're not going to give you the bread that you're asking for. We're going to give you something, but we're not going to make it public so so you could sign so that you can show up. Because if we broadcast this publicly, his ego is going to be like, nah, I need more M's and da-da-da. And, so everybody, let's just get it off of social media, man, to make this happen.
All right, TBE.
Nah, I respect what Errol Spence was saying. Yeah, just to keep it private, keep it personal, and not all of that, not too many odds in the situation. And Spence knows he has to get through Ugas first. Like, it's not no walk in the park. This is like the man just beat Pacquiao, and who knows? And Spence has been inactive for a year, so because he fought Garcia in 2020, end of 2020, right? And
Around now.
Yeah, and then he had the eye situation which delayed it, which Ugas had to step in, and now, Earl, you're handling the situation well. I'm just saying, you said what you need to say, and at this point, just focus on your next match. When it's time for fight TC, it's gonna happen. TC has no more card, no more bullets in the gun.
I think that's what he was referring to. What basically TC has had time to test the market and find out his value. And I think he's starting to realize that his value is not necessarily what he thought it was. And I think what Errol Spence is saying, and this is where I respect Errol Spence's stance, is I'm not going to start barking out demands right now and naming percentages right now in the public. But most importantly, I'm not going to say anything to downplay TC and to make TC look bad. So what he's saying is, let's get together and let's talk about this, which I respect a hell of a lot more than tweeting through social media. And I think that if someone's actually willing to meet in person, willing to get their teams together, to me, that's showing that they're more serious about having a deal done than speaking through social media. So to me, it was probably the best response I've seen from Errol Spence in terms of making a fight with Terence Crawford. And the truth and the fact of the matter is, if he was to get the belt from Ugas, which is a tough task in itself because Ugas is a very good fighter, now he has to think about what he's going to do with his career. Is he going to move up to 154? He could do that. And there's a great fight at 154 for him. However, it just happens to be his stablemate. If Jermell Charlo wins that fight and he moves up to 154, it's like now Derek James is going to have to pick, who do I train? Do I train Earl? Do I train Charlo situation? But that's a different discussion for a different day. What we can talk about right now is, let's say TC was to fight and win. TC can become undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, and then move up to 154 and try to become undisputed there. That would be a hell of some history, right? So if you're TC, you have to really sit back and think about your options. And I'm telling you, TC's best fights are with PBC. So it just makes sense for him to sit down with Errol Spence, PBC, and work out a multi-fight deal where he has good options for if he wins, and he has great options for if he loses, because it can still work out for TC. And, he's 34 years old, so I don't know how much longer he plans on fighting, but TC just happens to have PBC happens to have the fighters that TC needs right now to advance his career. So I think it's a good thing. I think TC shouldn't comment about the Errol Spence fight in public, only like he said that he's interested in it. If he can't get it, he's going to look elsewhere. But he, if anything, he and Crawford should have a plan to have a sit down at the end of this fight, should he go on to win. And realistically, Crawford should be planning to have a sit down with Ugas and his team, should Ugas win. Because Crawford should be saying, like, look, my focus is this, and I'm coming to this table humble and realistic, and I'm looking to make a deal that's going to be, that will profit me in my career. Because at the end of the day, if Crawford wins, all he has to do is win. And if he wins, he would become a superstar. But he has to win. And that requires him getting these guys in the ring. He has to entice them. And to do that, it may be taking a lower percentage, but he would inherit so much. So for that, I think it's a beautiful thing. I hope they meet up and talk. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Also, check out our podcast on all major streaming services. It's the Boxing Bros.